Black Dahlia murder was one of the most famous and unsolved murders in Los Angeles history. On January 15, 1947, the body of a young woman was found in a vacant lot in South Los Angeles. The woman had been brutally beaten, tortured, and posed. She had been cut in half at the waist, and her face had been mutilated beyond recognition. The woman was eventually identified as 22-year-old Elizabeth Short, a struggling actress who had recently moved to Los Angeles from New York City. The body of Elizabeth Short was discovered by a 22-year-old mother named Betty Bersinger, who was walking her dog in the Leimert Park neighborhood of Los Angeles. Bersinger initially thought that the body was a mannequin, but she quickly realized that it was a human being. She immediately called the police. When the police arrived, they found Short's body lying on a vacant lot. She was naked, and her body was covered in bruises and cuts. Her face had been mutilated beyond recognition, and her mouth had been cut into a grotesque Glasgow smile. The police launched a massive investigation into the murder of Elizabeth Short. They interviewed hundreds of people, but they were unable to find any suspects. The case was featured prominently in the media, and the public was gripped by fear and fascination. The police were baffled by the brutality of the crime and the lack of any suspects. They considered the possibility that the murder was a sex crime, but they were unable to find any evidence to support this theory. Over the years, there have been hundreds of suspects in the Black Dahlia murder. Some of the most prominent suspects include Jack Parsons. Parsons was a rocket scientist who was a friend of Elizabeth Short. He was a known sadist and had a history of violence against women. George Hodel. Hodel was a physician who was also a friend of Elizabeth Short. He was a known womanizer and had a history of mental illness. Leslie Dillon. Dillon was a serial killer who was active in the Los Angeles area in the late 1940s. He was convicted of murdering 3 women, but he never confessed to killing Elizabeth Short. Dr. Walter Scott. Scott was a chiropractor who was married to one of Elizabeth Short's friends. He was a known womanizer and had a history of mental illness. The Black Dahlia murder remains unsolved to this day. The police have never been able to find any conclusive evidence to link any of the suspects to the crime. The case continues to inspire interest and speculation, and there are still many people who believe that the killer will never be caught. The Black Dahlia murder has had a profound impact on American culture. The case has been the subject of numerous books, movies, and television shows, and it continues to be a source of fascination for many people. The murder is also a reminder of the dark side of human nature, and it serves as a reminder of the dangers that women face in society. Elizabeth Short was 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighed 115 pounds. She had brown hair and eyes, and she wore her hair in a pageboy style. Short was last seen alive on January 9, 1947, leaving the Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. The murder weapon was never found. The police interviewed over 2,500 people in connection with the murder. There are over 600 files on the case at the Los Angeles Police Department. The Black Dahlia murder is one of the most famous unsolved murders in the world. The Black Dahlia murder is a tragic and unsolved case that has captured the public's imagination for decades. The case is a reminder of the dark side of human nature, and it continues to inspire fear and fascination.